like to welcome you to BOI Meets Wellness, a podcast that discusses the complexities, celebrations, and challenges of building a wellness ritual as a BOI, a person who is born obviously incredible. You are now listening to BOI Meets Wellness with poet, motivational speaker, and wellness lover, Evolve Benton.
BOI, born obviously incredible, especially when you wear it pretty.
What's good? What's good? What's good, world? Welcome to BOI Meets Wellness. It's your boy Evolve Benton. That's EVOLVE. Evolve as in evolution. I am your host of BOI Meets Wellness. Thank you for your patience and your support as we jump into season 2 of this phenomenal podcast. Our last season was published in April of 2019, right? Can you believe it? It's been like a whole quarter since we've heard from each other. I can't believe it has been that long, and I've missed you all so much. This podcast brings me so much joy, not only from the interviews that I'm able to have in these amazing conversations, but from the feedback and speaking out to folks in the community, especially here where I'm at in the Bay Area, and hearing that it's not only transforming people's relationships with their family and their friends, but also with themselves, right? So first, thank you all for your support and positive words of affirmation. It keeps me motivated and keeps me continuing to be able to go. And keeps me wanting to do this work. I appreciate it and would love if you could head over to iTunes and leave a review, right? You know, if you feel like you really love the podcast, or if you like, you know what I mean, it could be a little bit better. Whatever you want to leave, I would love your review. I'm not one that says it has to be positive or negative feedback. I just want feedback so that I can know that I'm giving you what you need and I'm giving out this energy to the world. Your review not only gives me and my team good feedback on how to make the show better and what you enjoyed, also pays the bills, right? The more we're seen, the more we're heard, people will be willing to invest in this space. And I think that always makes a space more manageable. The last 4 months have been quite amazing. Here are a few updates from me. I had an amazing opportunity to take a podcast course called the Podcast Paradise, which was an amazing resource. Through this course, I learned so much about podcasting and actually got the idea to make BOI Meets Wellness a seasonal podcast. I decided to turn BOI Meets Wellness into a seasonal podcast in order to give myself as a solo creator at the moment, some more bandwidth to be really intentional about the content that I like to give to you all. Shouts out to John Lee Demas. He's the creator over there, and his team at Podcast Paradise for an amazing course. And shouts out to myself for knowing my capacity, man. You know, I think as creators, we often jump into things and don't think we can step back or take time for ourselves because we want to give so much. But it's really good to think about what do you have capacity for, especially as myself. Beyond this podcast, I do a lot of consulting work out in the world around diversity, equity, inclusion. I have a full-time job. I'm a full-time partner and parent of 2 amazing dogs. And I'm also a poet and a writer and a creator myself. So I've been working on my first spoken word album, Sir, as well the last 4 months, and that's wrapping up. So just really making the podcast seasonal has given me an opportunity to sit back and really think about strategically how I want to deliver this work. During our seasonal publishing schedule, we'll drop every Thursday for the next few weeks, dropping you some episodes, and hoping that you all can have the opportunity to engage with this work in a particular way by listening to interviews, right? So talking to people who are born obviously incredible. Being beyond amazing, a host and a writer, healer. I'm a mindfulness and meditation expert, as I always say, a poet. And also last year I dropped my first book, right, y'all? I dropped my first book, Sir. It's a chapbook. As they say, so it's a smaller book of poems, and it's dedicated to boyhood and Black queer love. You can find it on my website at evolvebenton.com or even on Amazon. I'll leave something in the show notes for that. But I would love for y'all to check out my work. A lot of folks hit me up like, who are you? Beyond that, beyond my friends and family who know who I am, but really wanted to know how to get engaged with my work. So what I'm trying to do with the podcast and with my media company is called Mar Media, is really make, this brand not only these separate, I guess, streams, but to bring the pond together. So I want all of my networks to know about the amazing work that I'm doing. And let me tell you something else, right? If you have it on your bucket list to write a book, please do it. The process of writing my first book, it changed my life. The one tool that was a lifesaver was this mind map that actually was in this book that I read by Chandler Bolt, and it's called The Proven Path from Blank Page to Being Published. And you can find the link in the show notes as well. But I created this mind map for Sir, and Sir was 3-part book, right? Sir, Madam, Soul. And I went in with that original idea, and through doing that mind map, I was like, yo, actually, this is 3 different books. So right now, as we speak, as we're wrapping up this podcast and getting this all published and pushed out, wrapping up Sir Volume 1, the spoken word album, your boy is in the background beginning to write Madam. Right, Madam is the second book that I'll be dropping in 2020. So the work just kind of keeps going, but it all started from Chandler Bolt's book. And shouts out to the homie Amber from college who actually gave me DU. Shouts out to DU, Dillon University. That's where I went for undergrad all day. DU. My DU, you already know it. So, but shouts out to her. Shouts out to all my peers who are willing to give like resources, right? So that's why I'm dropping books to y'all and dropping knowledge to y'all, because beyond, you know what I mean, being able to support each other's work monetarily, right? The resources and the education that takes us to the next level is just as phenomenal. This week, I want to share a wellness tip with y'all. You can say no. It is okay to say no. So the last couple of years, I've had to say no to people. I felt so much guilt and anxiety around it. I felt like saying no would prohibit me from building or having good relationships. Like boundaries to me felt like they were stopping me from actually having relationships. And then I realized that most of the relationships I was trying to have actually weren't authentic, right? Like these aren't things that or not even necessarily authentic, because I want to take that back, because then that says people are being fake. And I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is I wasn't being authentic, because I wasn't setting up the proper boundaries to protect myself and saying, this is how I'd like to be treated. This is the way that I like to be approached. So then people run over you and do things in your relationship with them, and you're like, why are they doing that? But you never set that up. So saying no is an amazing resource that we all have within ourselves, that I think that we all should explore a little bit more. I felt that saying no, would not be easy, but after years of working on myself and overworking myself and not seeing progress in relationships, I decided to not skip out on the boundaries. Saying no not only creates boundaries and sets expectations, it leaves you with an opportunity to say yes to something that you might be missing out on, or your current goal, or building a relationship with people who value what you value, So do me a favor, what I'm saying? This week, before you say yes to a task or anything, just pause. Think about it and think about your true capacity, right? I often tell folks, think about the emotional labor too. Think about that travel. Think about getting there. Sometimes we get gigs, we get bags, we get opportunity, or people say, oh, this can get you exposure. Exposure to me, for me right now, is not enough. I need more than exposure, but some folks might be at that part in their career and their journey. But really, what is it going to take for you to show up as your best self? And are they giving that you need? So now I'm not saying to just start saying no to everything, because we want to continue to be open and to be able to do work. But if you're recovering from being a people pleaser like I am, practicing saying no will prevent you from burning out and prevent you from being in a space where you can't build relationships with folks that you love. So yeah, that's my wellness tip for the day. This is an introduction episode, because when I took the podcast Paradise course, they were saying, make sure that you have an introduction episode. And I was like, I never even had one. So I wanted to give that to y'all and just tell y'all, like the point of BOI Meets Wellness. Like BOI Meets Wellness is a space where we're going to talk to people that are born obviously incredible, BOI. And some of those folks happen to be masculine or center, happen to be queer. Some of them don't. And for this season in particular, season 2, we're jumping into a major conversation around financial wellness, because that's what I'm on right now, y'all. And not in a capitalistic way, but I want to learn the game of money. I never really had that conversation with my family. My family was, in a position where they were trying to survive. So the conversations around thriving weren't there. We had a lot of conversations around lack, around not having enough, around being broke. And that was amazing because it gave me the tools to survive under any circumstance. You know what I'm saying? I often tell my fiance, if we had to go back to noodles, I'm good because I've done that, right? Like a couple noodles or whatever. But also enjoying not eating that and eating healthier and doing the things I got to do to build the journey I want to build. But in order to get out of that mindset, I'm learning that I have to talk to people about it more, and different types of people I have to talk to about money. So we have some amazing folks that we've been able to line up for this season. I'm so excited to give it to y'all and for y'all to be able to get connected to not only me, but to the amazing people in my community that keep me thriving and keep me really thinking about finance, not only in a come up or an abundance way, but in a wellness way. How am I financially well? How am I shifting my mindset to live the life that I want to live? Right? How is my finances translating into my lifestyle? So welcome to season 2 of BOI Meets Wellness. You can find our show notes and other resources at boimeetswellness.com. Thank you for listening. That's boimeetswellness.com. BOIMeetswellness.com. Thank y'all for listening and jump into season 2, episode 1. I appreciate y'all. Peace.
Thanks for listening to BOI Meets Wellness. Stay connected on and off the show by following us online at